Hey, welcome back. It's Jason Walter here. In today's video, I'm going to give you a big real estate market update. First, I'll share briefly what's going on in our economy. Then I'm going to be sharing some news regarding mortgages as well as loan forbearances. And then I'm going to be sharing an update regarding eviction and foreclosure moratorium that was recently extended. Lastly, I'll share some brand new real estate stats for both across the country as well as what we're seeing in California. If you're new here, welcome. I post videos about how this pandemic is affecting our real estate market as well as personal finance topics. So I invite you to subscribe and join the family. Last week, another 1.5 million people filed for unemployment benefit claims, and this is the lowest number since this pandemic begun. However, this is the 13th straight week that we've had claims above 1 million. And to give you some context about this, the previous record for weekly unemployment benefit claims before the coronavirus was only 695,000 way back in September 1982. A total of about 45 million people have filed for unemployment benefit claims at some point during this pandemic, and we currently have around 20 million that are still unemployed. In stock market news, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is down about 9.1% year to date, which is a lot better than earlier this year when the stock market bottomed out this year at around March 23rd when the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down 35% for the year. However, the stock market has declined about 12% since June 8th after news broke out that COVID-19 was spiking in some states. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association, or the MBA, about 8.55% of the mortgages are currently in forbearance, and that equates to about 4.3 million homeowners. However, the rate of people entering into forbearance has not been increasing greatly in recent weeks. So for example, when you compare the 8.55% we have right now, it was only 8.53% last week. This is obviously a stark contrast to the huge spike in mortgage loan forbearance requests that we had in March, for example. It also mentions in this report that the MBA saw an increase of forbearance requests with June mortgage payments due soon, but the number of people in forbearance is still low. However, they did see a noticeable increase in call volume from the previous week. A big question mark is what will happen to these houses after their mortgage loan forbearance period is over. And I go over this in detail in my previous videos, but basically homeowners, depending on your situation, have options. And those would include a payment deferral, a loan modification, a refinancing, or setting up a payment plan, for example. I have been getting comments on my videos that people think that these forbearances are going to cause foreclosures. And in my opinion, these actions that the government has taken in order to give options to homeowners who have entered into mortgage forbearance, that is going to mitigate the amount of foreclosures that we see, but we will see and time will tell. In addition, I read a report by Black Knight, and Black Knight is basically a company that provides data to the real estate and mortgage industries. So Black Knight actually reported that about 80% of people in forbearance right now have at least 20% equity in their homes. So this obviously is going to give homeowners and their loan servicers more options. I have mentioned this before, but in my opinion, the homeowners who are at greatest risk of losing their house to foreclosure down the road are those who have lost their job and are not getting their job back and have purchased a house recently with minimal down payment. So that would be with an FHA, which is 3.5% down, or a VA, which is 0% down. This also coincides with what Black Knight also reported because they said that people who have FHA or VA loans in forbearance, 20% have 10% or less equity in their houses. So the vast majority of people with FHA or VA loans have less than 10% equity. It was also reported that a lot of people were entering into forbearance even though they could still afford their mortgage. And I can see why this is because it's so easy to get approved for a mortgage loan forbearance thanks to the CARES Act. So for example, in order to enter in a mortgage loan forbearance, all you have to do is attest that you have a financial hardship due to COVID-19. There's no documentation required to prove that you have this financial hardship. And again, if you want to learn more about mortgage loan forbearances, I made a couple of videos about this and I'll leave a link in the description below. Also, if you are a renter or a homeowner and are experiencing a financial hardship due to COVID-19, my heart goes out to you. I want to give you a good resource to go to, and that is knowyouroptions.com. The Mortgage Bankers Association also announced that total mortgage applications increased 8% from the previous week. And a VP from the MBA also stated the following: purchase applications increased to the highest level in over 11 years and for the 9th consecutive week. The housing market continues to experience a release of unrealized pent-up demand from earlier this spring, as well as a gradual improvement in consumer confidence. This also coincides with another record low in mortgage interest rates. So the average right now for a 30-year fixed mortgage is 3.13%. This is the lowest since Freddie Mac began tracking data all the way back in 1971. Truly, this is historic times we're living in. As you can see on this graph, mortgage interest rates started declining around March. And to give you some context about this, they were about 3.75% for a 30-year fixed mortgage about a year ago, and they were even higher than that in 2018. These historic interest rates is helping people refinance their mortgages right now in order to get a lesser payment and potentially to get cash out from the equity of their houses. So this is assisting homeowners right now during these uncertain times. I also wanted to mention that not all of the mortgage activity right now is from the boom of refinances. So according to the Mortgage Bankers Association, refis represent about 63.2% of total applications. Before we go over some real estate market stats, I invite you to hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that because it helps support this channel. In addition, don't forget to grab your 2 free stocks from WeBull for a limited time. I'll leave a link in the description below. According to Freddie Mac, the housing market is one sector that is surging right now. So for example, according to their chief economist, purchase demand activity is up over 20% from a year ago, the highest since January 2009. However, they stated that this momentum is going to be very challenging to sustain, and that is because of the low amount of inventory that we had right now, as well as the low amount of inventory that we had even before this pandemic even started. I want to verify this information with you on a local level in Northern California. So I ran a search for inventory over the last 2 years in 9 Northern California counties, including Sacramento and Placer counties. The light green bars is the number of houses available for sale, which basically means the housing inventory. So inventory in May this year is about 25% less than it was in May 2019. And it also was 25% less when you compare it to May 2018. As you can see here as well, the dark green bars is the number of houses that have sold. That is also less. And this is basically a product of low inventory, which basically means there's fewer houses available for sale, which causes fewer home sales. There's also some big news from the Federal Housing Finance Agency, or the FHFA, because they announced just a couple of days ago that the moratorium on evictions and foreclosures was extended to at least the end of August. It was set to expire on June 30th. The key words in this press release is at least, because this could get extended yet again. It also mentions in their press release that the FHFA will continue to monitor the coronavirus situation and update policies as needed. So it's great to see that they're open to making changes if needed in order to protect homeowners and renters who are experiencing a financial hardship. This foreclosure moratorium only applies to single-family mortgages that are backed by Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae. However, the foreclosure and eviction moratoriums is also extended to those who have an FHA-backed mortgage, because the FHA announced a few days ago that they also implemented a 2-month extension through August 31st. For those who have an FHA-backed mortgage, there are 2 stipulations that the loan servicers must adhere to. And loan servicers are basically the company that you pay your mortgage to. And those stipulations are the following: halt all new foreclosure actions and suspend all foreclosure actions currently in process, excluding legally vacant or abandoned properties, and stop all evictions of persons from FHA-insured single-family properties, excluding actions to evict occupants of legally vacant or abandoned properties. Therefore, the foreclosure and eviction moratoriums only apply to occupied houses, for example. And it's unclear to me how the FHA would know if a house is legally vacant or abandoned. So if anyone knows, please leave me a comment below. The FHA also mentions that thanks to the CARES Act that was passed a few months ago, that the FHA requires mortgage servicers to do the following: offer borrowers with an FHA insured mortgage up to a year of a mortgage loan forbearance. In other words, the homeowner does not have to make their mortgage payment for up to 1 year as long as they have a financial hardship due to COVID-19. It also states that the FHA does not require a lump sum payment at the end of the forbearance period. In addition, FHA loan servicers may be able to offer a payment deferral for all missed payments owed into a junior lien, which is only repaid when the borrower sells their home, refinances the mortgage, or the mortgage is otherwise extinguished or paid off. This is called the COVID-19 National Emergency Standalone Partial Claim Program. It's a hard one to say. Okay, let's go over some real estate market stats for California. And according to the California Association of Realtors, or CAR, they said that as expected, the number of home sales fell in May to the lowest level since the Great Recession. May sales decreased 13.9% from April and down 41.4% from a year ago. And that was the largest year-to-year drop in sales since November 2007. If you recall, many home sellers took their houses off the market in March and April due to the stay-at-home orders in California. So realtors at that time were not allowed to meet with their clients face-to-face, which makes it a little bit challenging to sell houses when you can't meet with the clients. This had a trickling effect on May sales because May sales is a result of activity in April. The drop in the number of home sales in May was felt across the state as well as the country. So for example, in Southern California, the Orange County Register reported that the number of home sales in May this year was an all-time low. As you can see here, it was significantly lower than any other May since at least 1988. In addition, a senior vice president at the California Association of Realtors stated the following: as we predicted, May home sales took the full impact of the coronavirus pandemic as much of the state remained in lockdown during the past few months and caused 3 straight months of double-digit sales declines, which we have not experienced since the association began reporting monthly home sales in 1979. It goes on to say in this article that they predict that home sales will continue to be below pre-COVID-19 levels, but they will improve as confidence increases and the economy opens up. In my opinion, the key factor is the lack of inventory right now, so it's going to be really interesting to see how that changes over time. However, while May sales declined, pending sales right now are going through the roof. So pending sales, which is basically means an offer is accepted, they surged 63.2% from April as the stay-at-home orders eased and record low interest rates fueled demand for housing. That's your real estate market update. But don't forget, if you want 2 free stocks, click on the link below because for a limited time, WeBull is giving away 2 free stocks, with one of those being valued up to $1,400 when you deposit at least $100 on their platform within 30 days of signing up. So if you want 2 free stocks, click on the link below and let me know which free stocks you receive. So what do you think will happen to the real estate market? I'd love to know your thoughts about this, so comment below. Also, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already and hit the like button to help support this channel. I greatly appreciate that. You also can follow me on Instagram. I'm Sacramento Realtor. I hope you have an awesome day. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.